Hello everyone. Nice to meet you. This session I will discuss about OWASP Pygot. OWASP Pygot is our team is Adios Yang Putra is me and saya Akmal. And then next slide.
Yeah.
Yes. About us. I'm Adios Yang Putra. I am CEO of PT Aplikasi Cyber Technology AppSec.Asia with HQ in Jakarta, Indonesia, and I'm also CEO of Resiko Digital, it's which based in USA. That's it. I have active contribute in various OS projects and speaking in international conference like Blackhat, also in OS AppSec. And then my team is Set Akmal is very cool. She is undergraduate student from India, actively working on building on tools that help to improve the security of application. He has to contribute of OWASP Pygot project, and then he is developer, and he has contribute to the OWASP security project. And he has to beginner, backhunter, and incline toward anything that is in POSEC. Next slide. Why Pygot? Pygot is vulnerable web application developed in Python to teach developer and web app pen tester about OS top 10 and how to avoid them. Pygot is developed using the Django framework, and importantly is an open source. Anyone can contribute to it, add feature, and make modification. The tool acts as a playground for anyone who is just starting to understand aspects of application security. Currently, the tool can be cloned from the official GitHub repo or can be accessed by Heroku app deploy. You can see the URL which I have to publish. The URL is pygot.herokuapps.com. That's it. Next slide. We will present by my team is he has Said Akmal. That's it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ade, for the introduction. It was a brief introduction. Okay, talking about OWASP Pygot, as Ade told, so it is developed in order to create a vulnerable web application so that the new budding InfoSec people can learn from different OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. Okay, speaking of OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities, currently there are OWASP is an organization which gives us the top 10 model for any aspects of application security. So currently we are speaking about the web application security. So that these are the top 10 which we have covered in OWASP Pygot, starting from injection to the insufficient logging and monitoring. And as we know, recently there has been an update in the OWASP top 10. So previously we are following the 2017 version, and currently there's this 2021 version which has been recently released. So our aim is to kind of, now currently our Pygot is currently working on the OWASP top 10 2017 version. We are going to shift to also add labs and features for the OWASP 2021 version as well. Okay, so that's it for the OWASP top 10. So next is the demo time. We'll be showcasing our what our tool is actually. For that, I guess we can start with the demo. Yeah. So how would you able to how can you get hold of this tool? So first of all, you can go to the Google and search OWASP Pygot, and you can see there's this website which shows the there's this official website of OWASP which gives you an introduction about the Pygot. From there, you can go to that code repository. It's a GitHub repo. The owner is Ade Osman, and he's currently the leader of this project. And you can go to this repo and go there and have a quick glimpse of what is happening here. So as you can see, there's this definition of what we're going to try to cover. And there is this table of contents and installation processes and how you can install in this video. So currently we'll be focusing on how to install it to your system and run it. So for that, we could go to this and clone the GitHub repo. First, you can clone it. Currently, I've already cloned it. So all you have to do is git clone, just paste it, and if you just press enter, it's already cloned, so there's no need to do it. So I'll show you what happens when you do it. So once you clone it, you can see that it gets installed. It just get the copy of whatever it's in the GitHub version gets installed here. So as you can see, you got that Pygot version here. So once that is done, now we need to configure it to run. So for that, we could set up with the pip install command, which is also given in the repository. You can just follow these steps. So next we go in and put this command, pip install our requirements.txt. So once that is satisfied, yeah. So once that is done, we can just go to the next directory, navigate it to it, and hit pip install. Yeah. So if on running this, you could see there's already I've installed it. So currently all the requirements are satisfied and it's ready to progress. So once you're going to try it, it'll say that all the requirements are getting installed. And when it's done, you get a success message. Once that is done, all you have to do is navigate again to the Pygot folder and run this command called python manage.py migrate. So migrate, what it actually does is it tries to copy all the database model into the migrated into the database, MSQL database. So that's what migrate does. So it's in order to make sure all the configurations are applied properly, we use the migration. So I've already migrated. Once that is done, all you have to do is just type in python manage.py and run server 8000. Once that is done, you can see that your Pygot has been officially installed, and you can browse your Pygot in this domain when this is the localhost and this is 8000. So now I'll just go there and check what's happening. So on successful installation, you'd be able to browse the login page. So the first thing you can notice here is how we have arranged all the different kind of vulnerabilities, which I stated in the previous slide, starting from A1 injection to insufficient logging and monitoring, covering the OWASP top 10 2017 bugs. So in order to access any of this, you need to first log in. So we have added two features. You can just log in through your normal registration or use the OAuth authentication. So I prefer the OAuth right now. So let's do it. Oops. Just give me a second. Okay, so now we can log in with the OAuth feature. So we just go in here and just click on login with Google. Yeah, I'm just using one of my accounts. Yeah, as you can see here, we have logged in currently. So now if you browse through different labs, you will be able to access different kind of menus. According to the OWASP top 10, we have arranged everything. So we'll be speaking about how these labs are structured and maybe solve three to four labs, and also explore what is in under Pygot. So first we can start with maybe SQL injection, because this is the most common vulnerability, or if any person who's starting with information security would first step into SQL injections. So we'll just go how we have created the lab and how you could learn from it. So as you can see here, first we have we give a brief introduction of what is SQL injection. So first we try to explain what is SQL injection. Then we have this button called lab details. So once you click that button, you can see a drop-down list of what can you expect in the lab. So it tells you what actually the lab is and how can you solve it, first of all. So the first thing is you don't have to read it. You can just go to this access lab button and just go access the lab. Okay, once you try to figure out what is happening, you come back to this part and understand how to solve this lab. Okay, not only that. So once you finish solving, like trying to put whatever the lab detail says, we also tell you what's the cause of this vulnerability, so that you could, when you're trying to code a web application, or if you're a developer, you try to code an application, so you can understand Okay, in this lab, I've learned something like this. So if I put the same, I put the same thing in my code, this would cause an vulnerability. So you could rectify from that mistake and also learn from it. So that's what we have been trying to do it. So we have created a lab, we have given you the solution, and we've also tried to explain what's the root cause of it. So yeah, so just I'll just show you what the lab is right now. Okay, now I go into the lab. It says, can you log in as admin? So admin is the topmost access oriented person who has a lot of access of who owns the entire domain. So if you are able to log in as an admin, that's a potential vulnerability. Without knowing his password, that's a potential vulnerability. Okay, first let's just figure out what's happening here. I just put my name and I put a random password, which I'm not sure. It says user not found. Okay, cool. Because I have not registered, user is not found. Fine. I'm putting admin. Yeah, admin. And I just put some password here and I put login. What says the password you have entered does not match the username. Okay, now I have come to a situation conclusion where I know that's where's this user called admin, but I'm not aware of his password. So now as a attacker, what I would try is try to throw out some kind of error. Like I would expect some kind of error from the application, say something which is unusual. If you find something unusual, then you can dig upon it. So let's say I'm putting this thing, since SQL is a structured query, there's a single quote. If you put a wrong query in it, it always throws in an error. Let's see what kind of error pops up. Okay, there's this, since the debug is on currently, so you can see a lot of this info, but usually this is not, this is restricted to only maybe this part only. It says this, there's an query problem and some kind of a query problem structure in SQL. So that's what it's been restricted to. Since the debug feature is on, you can see a lot of stuff here, but never mind. Okay, so it's a unrecognized token AAA, and there's this some errors and all. Okay, from this you can conclude that it's going to be an SQL injection, since from the query you have put, you got an error, since it's going to be SQL injection. So now let's try to craft something that I could bypass this. So what I can do to bypass this? So you can just go to Google, search it like the default SQL query and understand how it works. So currently what I'm going to do is I'm again going back to my lab. I'm going to search, I'm going to read it out. Okay, this is so and so. So what I have to do is to exploit this. I have to write the password as anything, something like 1 dash or 1 is equal to 1. Okay, I'll explain you what this is, but just hold on to the horses. Yeah. So once you go there, I got the payload copied, access the lab. I'm just going to give admin. I'm going to give the password as whatever I copied from there. Okay, let's just, for making it more visible, I'll just try to show what's here. Yeah. So what I've done here is I've tried to crafted whatever it's in the lab. I've crafted here and I've put anything that's 1 or 1 is equal to 1. So what this statement actually means, what it happens when you press login, what's going to happen in the backend. I'll explain it to you in a while. So just for time being, I'll just log in inside it. Yeah. Now you can see before I got an error saying that my password is wrong, but currently it says you have logged in as admin. So which is a pretty cool thing, like which is a pretty bad thing actually, and it's on respect to owner of the product. So yeah. So what happened in the backend is, let me explain this. Yeah. So basically in the backend, what would happen is there is this database, and a user would try to kind of select whatever I pass through that password, and it goes to the database and uses a query like this. Select from this is the database where username is something my name and the password which I gave. So what we're going to try to do is, when I added a single quote, this is a structured query. When I'm adding a single quote to it, it automatically breaks the query. When it breaks the query, you get the error. So when you try to break the query, you can also try to fix it and add more commands to it. So that's what I did. So when I added the password is equal to something like anything 1 or equal to 1, I broke the query and I also fixed it, and I gave something which the query always returns to. So basically what I'm trying to explain here is, so let's say anything 1 or 1 is equal to 1. So Or statement considers either one of the statements to be true or false. So anything is false. So 1 is equal to 1 is always true, right? So the query goes and searches for anything, any name where the password is always true. So that's gonna log me into the admin account eventually. That's what's happening in SQL injection attack. Okay, so this is one of the SQL injection labs which we have in Pygot. We'll also look into command injection for just for fun sake. Okay, also same kind of iteration. We have command injection. We explain what is command injection, what are the mitigation. Okay, I think I left something in the previous slide. So we also have the mitigation, like what can we do in order to avoid this such a scenario in an application. So we have this mitigation part also. So let's just go into command injection and try to explore what's happening. Just go click on Access Lab. It says name server lookup. Okay, name server lookup is NS lookup, which let's say I give a domain. It just gives me all the details of the domain, the IP address, maybe the DNS records, or if there's an A record or what are the mail server records and stuff like that. So what could possibly go wrong here? So basically, I give facebook.com. So currently I'm running Windows. I just go. It gives me the server, it's saying some unknown address, and it returns me some kind of information about the facebook.com. So assuming that if it is vulnerable to command injection, what I could do is I could craft something like this. I could give something like facebook.com and dir. So basically the command line interpreter would think, okay, I have to run two commands. One is facebook.com and also dir. So for dir, which means that it should list all the directory informations in the server. So let's go and try what happens here. As you can see here, the server executed two commands. One is the facebook.com as well as the dir which I gave, which shouldn't happen in the exact scenario. So as you can see, it's also listing all the directories in my system. So this is kind of a potential vulnerability, because when, let's say there's a server and you kind of try to execute dir and figure out all their whatever it's listing in the directory, or API, there's some environment file in the directory. You try to read the environment file. There's going to be API keys and stuff. So this is going to be a lot of it's going to put a lot of problem to the server owner. So this is command injection. This is the basics of command injection, where you don't trust any input data given by the user. So you directly send this input data into a command or something like this, then it's going to cause an issue. So the mitigation should be very simple. So instead of directly sending it, you could let's say Facebook at dir. You can convert this into like a shell script, like a list or something, where you take only a single command. So if there are multiple commands, you reject it, something like that. You could do mitigations and stuff like that. So yeah, we have spoken about the mitigation part, where you can read up on, and also. And next, I'll like to talk about one of the most important bugs. This is the cross-site scripting, which is pretty much famous. So cross-site scripting is nothing but, as you know, it is XSS, also known as XSS, where we try to kind of include arbitrary code into the web page. So that's what XSS stands for. We have given what are the different types of XSS, and given definitions of what it can do, what are the possible scenarios, and all the types. Also, as I spoke about, we have given the mitigation part and what's the cause of this, and everything about it. So let's just go into the lab details and check what's in it, what's the Access Lab is made up of. So yeah, just I'm going to the Access Lab, as you can see. Okay, Fang it. Okay, Fang is a very kind of euphoric name, because as you guys know, it stands for Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. So these are the topmost companies any developers would like to work upon. So let's say I'm just going to give Facebook. What it does is it gives me the company name, CEO, and about the social media company. Okay, whatever the thing is. Let's say Google. Okay, it all gives me related to what is about Google, some kind of thing here. Let's say I'm going to give my Robinhood. Let's say I'm going to give Robinhood right now. What happens here? You can see the company Robinhood you have searched for is not part of Fang. Okay, cool. What could possibly go wrong here? So in an attacker perspective, you could try something known as XSS. So what is XSS? So to be more kind of precise, let's see what's happening right here. Just give me a second. You can see here, this entire thing is enclosed in a H3 tag. So this company Robinhood you have searched. Okay, let me just try to escape it, or let's say I'm gonna put something like some kind of tag. Let's say script. What happens here? The company Robinhood, and the next thing you can see is the script tag is getting rendered as a JavaScript. I mean, as a HTML. So this shouldn't happen in the real life scenario, because you know that script in HTML tag is used to can run codes, like it can run JavaScript, or it can run different kinds of it's used to run scripts basically. So this script shouldn't be rendered. If any search if there's any search query and whatever the user input types, this should be escaped, or this would cause something known as the excesses. So there are different kinds of excess. Now we are going to talk about something called the reflective type of excess, so the least kind of prior excesses. So let's see how we can kind of bring out excess out of this. It's very simple. Let's give Robinhood and you give and I close the H1 tag. Why am I doing this? As you can see, the Robin okay, let's give H3 since it is H3 tag. Yeah, am I closing this H3 tag and I'm opening a script thing and giving a message called alert1, and I'm commenting the rest of the statement. So what happens when I press this is the JavaScript renders line by line. So it goes from Robinhood, sees closes the H3 tag, which is here, and then creates a script tag, and okay, creates a script tag. Yeah, creates a script tag, and whatever message is put into it, it gets alerted. So that's what an access works like. So a person could also use if there's only HTTP only flag is disabled, then a person could get the cookie or redirect the user to some malicious page. So yeah, let's see. As you can see, whatever I put, I wanted you to say one, it said one, so it's listening to me. So it's a reflective type of excesses. So this is one of the vulnerabilities we are working with. I mean, we have created. And we have also different kinds of vulnerabilities, like you guys can explore, because we have a working version which can be accessed, I guess. Let's say okay, we have a working version which is deployed at pygoat.heroku.com. It's currently running also. So you guys can go there, the viewers can go there and access the OWASP Pygot project and explore it and understand different kinds of, as you can see, it's all it's working. You can go there and go learn through all the OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities and have a glance of different kinds of labs we have put in and understand the concepts of what is happening in web application security. So yeah, so this is our tool which we are kind of working on, and we'll be trying to add kind of more kind of labs, more intuitive labs and things like that, and bring a storyline into the thing. So this is what we've been trying to. Okay, now coming again. So yeah, that's for our tool demonstration. So next we have what is like where we need your help, like as a viewer, like where we would need your help is, since as I told you before, this project is open source, so anybody could go visit the web page. I mean, go to the GitHub repository, clone the repository, work on the project, add more labs, and put a pull request and help us with. So currently, we are looking on to add more labs, because, as you know, these are very basic common labs. Currently, the project has started, so these are very, very basic common labs. We'll be trying to. We know that there are a lot of new vulnerabilities and like a lot of types of vulnerabilities out in the wild. So we would be it would be like very helpful if people could contribute to our project in ways which could include these kind of vulnerabilities in our project. And also the UI development is one side. We are looking into develop the UI of our entire thing. And the most important thing is, as we are aware, the current OS top 10 2021 has kind of restructured. So we are looking into kind of, the next thing which we are planning to do is kind of restructure our entire project to suit with the OS 2021. So we'll be updating on that as well. So these are the things which you could help us with. You could contribute, pull up PR, and be a contributor to our project, OWASP Pygot project. Yeah, Ade, do you want to say something?
Okay, thank you for Sir Akmal for your demonstration. It's very helpful. And then we open for everyone who want to contribute to our project. We is very open and welcome. That's it. Thank you for everyone.
Thank you.
We can close the session.